like that, then you might as well be cheaper, and it's longer,
because-
but still.
Yeah, because otherwise, I would get a whole.
This time, we'll call the Marshall City Council to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone here this evening. We do have an agenda before us. Are there any changes to that agenda? Now we'll operate under that agenda. The first item then would be to consider the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting that was held on May 28th. The council does have the minutes of that meeting. Are there any corrections?
Move approval?
Second.
Motion by Craig, seconded by Amanda to approve the minutes as they have been presented. We will move to a vote. And we'll close the voting. See, did you?
Was I supposed to not abstain? I wasn't here, so.
Oh, okay. The motion does pass. I will note there's one abstention. The next agenda item would be the consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda are up on the screen, and they include consider the approval to allow SMSU to hold a raffle on October 12th for their homecoming. Consider the resolution authorizing execution of the MnDOT grant agreement for the airport tractor loader purchase, calling for a public hearing on the proposed increase in the liquor license fees, and consider the approval of the bills and the project payments. Is there any item on the consent agenda any member of the council wants removed for separate discussion? If
Move
not,
approval. Second?
by Steve, seconded by Craig. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. We'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. We'll move then to agenda item number 6. First item of new business. This is the West Lion Street North 3rd Street reconstruction project. We'll consider the resolution declaring the cost to be assessed and ordering the preparation of the proposed assessment, as well as a resolution for the hearing on the proposed assessment. So I will call on Jason Anderson, Director of Public Works, City Engineer, to present this agenda item.
Thank you, Mayor. This was our downtown reconstruction project that occurred last year with the Addison parking lot being completed this spring. The reconstruction from West Lion Street, on West Lion Street from East College Drive to North 5th and North 3rd from West Main to West Redwood Street. Included in the packet, you do have the resolution declaring the cost to be assessed and ordering the preparation of the proposed assessment for the project. Included in the memo, we've got the cost breakdown as well, where we identified the different funding sources utilized on the project. You'll note that 7% roughly was covered by the wastewater fund, just short of 16% by MMU, 21% surface water management utility, 43% of cost city participation, and then 12.5% assessed to property owners. Included in the packet, you've also got the resolution for hearing on the proposed assessment, setting the hearing date for July 9th for this project. Per our current fee schedule, we're proposing an interest rate of 5.27% for this project. That's 2% above bonding rate. Typically, we use an 8-year term, but there's no formal policy on that. City staff would recommend that we adopt these two resolutions and set the hearing for July 9th. I can try to answer any questions if you have them.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Are there any questions? Considering the first resolution first, then the resolution declaring the cost to be assessed and ordering the preparation of the proposed assessment. Are there any questions on that resolution?
I move the resolution.
I'll second.
Motion by Craig, seconded by C. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. We'll close the voting. And the motion does pass. And then the second resolution is the resolution for the hearing on the proposed assessment. Are there any questions on that resolution? If not, is there a motion?
Moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Steve, seconded by Amanda. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. Close the voting. And the motion does pass. Agenda item number 7, consider appointments to various boards, commissions, and bureaus and authorities. Earlier this evening, the council did meet in special session, interviewed an applicant for the Planning Commission. Based on that application and interview, I would recommend that Derek Deitz be appointed to his second term on the Planning Commission. That term will expire May 31st, 2027. I'd offer that as a recommendation and entertain a motion to affirm.
So moved.
Second.
By Steve, seconded by Craig. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. And we'll close the voting. And the motion passes. So we'll move on then to agenda item number 8, council commission board liaison reports. Craig?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Equipment Committee met today and looked at some issues, and one is a utility vehicle for the fire department, and the other one is looking at some of the concerns moving forward with the enterprise lease agreement for vehicles. And so we've instructed staff to move forward on those, and both of those will be coming for future council work. But just want to let you know that we've been pretty busy with some of the things going on, but the one thing with looking at how we purchase and pay for our vehicles is one that I think we want to revisit with the council. So we're looking forward to that.
Good. Okay. Steve?
EDA did not meet. Cable Commission did not meet. Adult Community Center, I got to go. They are now going to be doing twice yearly meetings, and probably moving them to 5 o'clock to allow people to attend more frequently. There's a lot going on over there. I was glad to go. So the building, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but we own the building as a city.
Oh, yeah.
We need to work on maintaining that thing. It is falling apart. And they have mowing issues. Their members are volunteering to mow, things like that. There's it looks like a gutter that's half. There's 2 spots where the gutter's hanging. It looks like the rest of the building, the gutter was pulled off or fell off, or hard to tell. So I think that we need to spend some time looking at that and looking at how we maintain it and going from there. They've got 21 people renting that on a regular basis, which is really cool. It's a well-used building, and so we have to look at how do we help them change some of the fees, I think. Some of the fees, they haven't changed in 30 years, which is good for the people who are leasing it or renting the space, but not so good for maintaining a building that's aging. So they've got a lot going on. They're going to be having a big thing lining up with Sounds of Summer on games and teaching people games. They want people to get more people in there. So if you've ever wanted to play Bean, which is a very complex Belgian game, I think. I don't understand it. My patients have tried to teach me it. It's impossible to learn. They're going through and making all the rules consistent, because everybody comes with their own standard rules in parts of the game, and they don't want to have anybody getting beat up over there for over a fight on that was my point in Bean. So they're doing a lot of good stuff over there. It was really neat to see, but yeah, they're going to be coming for the budget, and I think that when they come for their budget, we really need to support them. So that's all I've got. It was good.
Thank you, Steve. Amanda?
Thank you. Economic Development hasn't met. Planning Commission tomorrow night. Public Housing met yesterday. Pretty much business as usual. Not a lot to report there.
I think with EDA, one of you may want to talk about the EDA report that every council member has.
Well,
Except me.
Every council member has.
every council member has, so maybe everybody else could talk about it too.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice report.
It is a very nice report, and we did get to review it a couple weeks ago, or a month, I suppose it was a month ago. But Lauren's done a really nice job.
And one thing that I will point out in there, it does have our accurate amended population of 13,906 is listed, so that's good.
Wonderful.
My committees have not met. John
Mine either. Nothing.
and C
I was not able to attend either of my meetings.
and Jim.
Mine, I was not able to meet.
Then to council member individual items, Jim,
I have nothing this evening.
I don't have anything.
John,
Nothing.
Nothing.
Steve,
Nada.
C, you may want to mention the June 19th,
Yes,
unless Sharon is going to talk about that.
Either or.
I've been out of the loop, so.
Okay, we'll defer that, and you can
Okay.
have that in your report, so. Note, though, that June 19th is June 19th, so that's what will be held. We'll move then to staff reports. Sharon?
Yes, on June 19th, we are having a city-sponsored event celebrating June 19th. It is on June 19th, which we do have to note because there's a lot of communities that actually celebrate it on the weekend. But for our committee, we felt it was important to celebrate it on the actual day. This is the first year the city is taking more of a leadership role with Juneteenth. We're trying to maybe attract some additional spectators, individuals that want to be a part of the celebration. So we're doing a food truck event over the noon hour on June 19th, which has been a request from some members of the community and having interest in having food trucks in one location. So we're doing that as part of this event. And as we know, the Convention Visitors Bureau is also doing some other things on 3rd, but our food truck event for Juneteenth is on 3rd. And then we're going to take a little break for that day, and then we're going to come back to Justice Park and have some entertainment. There's the dance drum group that was here the last several years. They're really, really good. And so really a great thing to come out for. And I'm missing some other parts or speakers and some other program events. And then we also have a Grammy award-winning singer. She's actually performed with Sounds of Blackness, which is a very popular group out of the Twin Cities, and done some national work too, but she has agreed to be a part of our event as well. So we're praying for good weather. We think it may be hot, which is a tradition, it seems like, for June 19th, the last several years. But we've had a really good committee participation. C's on that as well, so she's provided really good support. And that's what we're planning, so.
So food trucks and activity starting at noon, 4 o'clock, then music and entertainment at Justice Park.
Yep.
And there's partnership with the library too.
The library is also doing some special programs for June 19th. They have a storybook walk that's kind of dedicated to a Juneteenth theme. They also have a display that's going to be at the library. If we get some of their Facebook marketing, we could promote it too. I haven't seen a lot, and I know we're like not too far away, but we'll promote that too. So, yeah.
Anything else?
When did you want us to cover political signs? Do you want to come back to that? Or did you not want to cover it?
No.
Okay. We do have in the packet as information, just some information on political sign placement. And the rules on political signs have been the same as their state statute that dictates the timing of political sign placement, especially during the election year. And the city doesn't have a lot of say on that, except for, of course, we can talk about placement and where they can be placed. 2 years ago, in 2020, and for the record, we did not go out and look for sign placement being improperly placed. We actually got a number of complaints. I think we averaged around 15 a week. And it got to the point where we needed to ensure compliance because of the complaints. So our Marshall Police Department did take action by removing the signs and then having the individuals come later and pick them up. So this year, we wanted to get ahead of it. This was a suggestion by individuals from 2020. We did on June 3rd meet with our Republican Party contact and our Democratic Party contact, which we know isn't inclusive of all the political parties, but the two major parties, and really wanted to come up with a procedure that allows them and maybe the individual person running for office to resolve it at their level versus having it come to the city and us taking this route that's to the point of taking the sign out. So they did agree to be a point of contact when there is a complaint. When there isn't a Republican Democratic candidate, we'll try to get a hold of the candidate. We may get a hold of the property owner. We'll try to find someone. We're hoping that they can resolve it within 48 hours. We're not going to tip over an hourglass and count second by second 48 hours. It's just kind of a general guidance. We'll again try to give them time to resolve. And if it isn't resolved, again, because we have a pending complaint, we at that point would remove it. We're going to hold it for a number of days. I think it was suggested by city attorney who's looked at other policies of 7 days. So we put that in our procedure. And again, we're really hoping that first we can get compliance by those maybe looking at the graphic, which really is maybe not for most people, maybe still kind of complicated, but the basic rule is know where your property line is. And I know we communicated that 2 years ago. You can look at Lyon County GeoMoose as a general guideline on where your property line is. So compliance and hopefully following, where your personal property lines are. And then second of all, can we try to resolve this without getting the city involved? Because we really don't want to get involved, but if we have to, we will on a complaint basis only. And then we do have this in our procedure, but the campaign sign season is coming up soon. It's June 28th is when the signs can be placed to November 15th. I do believe there are some campaign signs out. We might have already had a complaint regarding that. So we're going to kick off this procedure and see what happens between June 28th and November 15th. We also developed a press release. This was sent out to our individuals that we met with on June 3rd, and that'll be issued officially tomorrow. And we did, in addition to the city attorney, get advice from Public Works Director who deals with easements and right-of-ways, our city clerk who handles the complaints, our city intern, Steven Zimmer, did some research in other cities and participated in the discussion. And then, of course, our police chief, who, of course, would rather be dealing with other public safety issues, but is in support of this procedure and compliance, hopefully. So I'd be happy to answer any questions on.
Any questions on this for Sharon?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I think she did it. Sharon did a great job of reviewing it. I will just note, because I'm sure people will see a lot more signs that might not, in their mind, qualify as campaign or political signs. The statute does say non-commercial signs because we can't regulate based on content. So if you see other signs that people believe are not political or campaign signs, those signs are going to stay put in our size and number as long as they don't meet some of those safety criteria for that timeline as well.
Good. Any questions? Anything else, Sharon?
And did I miss anything? Jason, Stephen, or Stephen? Certainly add.
Stephen, this probably is a good segue since we're talking about campaign signs. The filings for local offices for local governments that have a primary that has occurred already, and for the city of Marshall, which does not have a primary, why don't you go over the filing dates?
Yes. So local non-primaries will start on July 30th. So for city council, mayor that have open positions coming up would be July 30th, and that would go until August 13th is when the filing period would end.
Okay. Thank you. Jason, we'll move to you.
Thank you. I'll just go through kind of a roundup on some projects here. The Minnesota 23 lift station out by the high school is now under reconstruction or rehabilitation. We are bypassing that lift station. There's pumps set up above the ground. You can see that pretty visibly, and they're getting underway with that project. So we're looking forward to that rehab project where we'll be relining the wet well and putting in 4 new pumps and some electric work and piping work. So that's going well so far. SRE building project is well underway. The site work is quite a ways along. The water and sewer is all installed. The roadway to the building and some of the grading work is done. It's starting to look nice. Still awaiting additional grant agreements on that project so we can continue to move forward, but we're hearing word that we might be seeing them soon, so we'll keep looking for those. The mill is in town as of this afternoon to start milling our streets for our mill and overlay project. They'll be in town for another day or two as well, finishing up those. So ask for some patience while we wait for the pavement to come to replace the milled section. So that could be anywhere from a week or two, depending. They got to adjust some manhole castings and do some additional work, but that's underway. The back parking lot of Independence Park is to gravel grade, and I think they're ready to start pouring curb and gutter tomorrow. So we're starting to see concrete show up in that project, and that's good. Hopefully we can get that opened up by the 4th. And the Whitney project, water and sewer services are being installed between College and Marshall, and they'll be done with that probably on Thursday, and they'll transition into storm sewer work. So utility work on the first 2 blocks is pretty well done, and they'll move into road grading and sidewalk and driveway work. That's all I've got. I can answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Jason. Any questions for Jason? Yep.
Nothing for the good of the whole. I will note that in the administrative brief in my section, there were updates on what the legislature has done. And so if anybody has any questions, just reach out.
Very good. We'll move then to the remaining items on the agenda. The administrative brief is listed for the council's review. The additional information about the political sign placement that has been presented, as well as the listing of the building permits and the listing of the upcoming meetings. So is there anything else to come forward at this meeting this evening?
Move that we close the meeting, or that we
Adjourn?
resign, adjourn, yes. I knew there was a word there for it, I just couldn't think of it.
You knew what you meant.
Ran
so-
through the alphabet almost.
You almost did.
Motion by Craig to adjourn.
Second that we adjourn the meeting.
Seconded by Amanda. Discussion? If not, we'll move to a vote. Then we'll close the voting,
Good.
and the motion passes. We are adjourned.